Hey gang, welcome back. Okay, so I know we've talked about IUPAC nomenclature, right? We've conquered the common naming. We've, named tangled spaghetti-like alkanes. So the only step we need to add to our repertoire is just how to handle different functional groups in our molecules. And I promise you this is more of just adding a little bit of an extra skill to your naming toolbox. So this isn't like a radical new thing we're about to learn. Everything we've learned before, picking the parent chain and naming in parentheses and using common names, that is all still valid and fair game. Okay, so let's kind of figure out what the extra stuff we need to learn is. So given this molecule, the only thing that now changes in your approach is you find the highest priority functional group in your molecule. Basically, if you have something more special than just plain old alkane and a halogen, you better include that in your parent chain, and you want to give it the lowest possible number you can. So let me, say that again. Identify your highest priority functional group. In this case, it's definitely this alcohol, right? So we want to include this alcohol in our parent chain. We want to give it a low number, and we still want to pick the longest chain possible. That includes this, okay? Like the fact that you have to include your highest priority functional group in your parent chain, that's like a new criteria you need to kind of pull into your steps of naming things, okay? So we definitely want to see, we could start 1, 2, 3, right? We could give that a 3 right there, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 is the lowest number we can give this alcohol, so we're 100% going to start naming from left to right. So now we need to pick the longest chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So from here we can either go 5, 6, 7, 8, or 5, 6, 7, 8. And since there's a tie, and going this way we hit a branch first as opposed to going up here, we're going to go 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? So let's go through our steps as usual. Business as usual. So on 5, we have a chloro. Name your substituents. 6, we have a methyl. 4, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, just a regular butyl. Okay? So then I'll show you how we kind of incorporate the functional group into our name. Okay? So we still alphabetize, so my first thing I'm going to write is the 4-butyl. Then dash 5-chloro. 6-methyl. Okay, so then here's where we start writing the parent chain. Our chain length is 8, so it's an octan, right? But remember, all the names we had been using before end in the A-N-E, because that was our highest priority functional group. Now, our highest priority functional group, this isn't an alkane structure, right? This is an alcohol. So our parent name needs to reflect that. So what we're going to say is octan 3-ol, because OL is the ending for alcohols, right? Ethanol, methanol, and you can all look those up. That's not, I just want to show you how to incorporate them in the naming process. So if we look at this name, butyl group on 4, chloro group on 5, methyl group on 6, and then an 8 chain with an alcohol at the 3rd position. Okay? So let me just erase this. We'll tackle another one, and you'll see this really is not that bad, and an extra mile on what you've already learned. Okay, gang, so let's tackle another naming problem that involves functional groups that are higher priority than alkanes. Okay, so looking at this structure, and again, it really depends on, your teacher may really love naming, really maybe not, so this may be relevant and maybe not. So I'll tell you that aldehydes are a higher priority than alcohols, right? So this is going to dictate where we're going to start naming, right? Because aldehydes are characteristically terminal. They're at the end of chains. So we're going to start numbering here. And from here, we're just going to make the longest chain, but we are also going to try and incorporate our other highest priority functional group as well, the alcohol. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so let's just name our branches. 4, we got an isopropyl group. 8, we have an ethyl group. Nice cookie cutter, no parentheses things. All right, so since the alcohol is no longer our highest priority group, we name it as a substituent. So it's 6-hydroxy, and that's everything named. And aldehydes have an AL ending. Just like alcohols were OL, they're AL. All right, so let's alphabetize and write our name. So we're going to start off with 8-ethyl. And of course, I don't know the alphabet very well. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So hydroxy first. 4-isopropyl. All right, so now comes our parent, which is octan. And you know what? You can do this one of two ways. You can just write octanal, because it's implied that your aldehyde will be at the number 1 position, or if you want to be a little bit more verbose, a little bit more explicit, you can do octan 1-al. But not saying people make fun of you, but if you just do without the 1, it shows a little bit of an understanding that aldehydes are terminal at the end of a chain. So I would just say run it all together like that. Okay, let's do one more, and then I think you'll really feel comfortable and have a solid foundation with naming in the IUPAC fashion with all sorts of functional groups. Okay, gang, last problem. Just give me a little bit more attention, and then we'll call it quits. Okay, so we have this structure right here. So I think I may have mentioned in the first naming video, you either have to pick a straight chain as your parent, or if there's a ring, you can pick just the ring. Here, it's obvious we're going to pick the ring for what we're going to be working with. Okay, so if we're going to look at what functional groups are present, right? We have this alcohol, and then we have this ketone. The ketone is higher priority, so we want to give it the lowest number and start there. So that will be our number 1. Okay, so now we have really 2 ways we can go from here. We can either go this way around the ring or this way. Now the trick here is you want to, since everything's going to be included in the ring, we want to just pick the situation that's going to give us the lowest branching numbers, or we'll break the tie. So we can either go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or we can go 1, 2, 3. So this way wins out because the branch occurs at 2 first, if that makes sense. Okay, so really we got 2-methyl, and then we got 5-hydroxy. Ketones end in -one. So if we want to string this all together, this would be 5-hydroxy, 2-methyl, and then our parent chain is not just hex, it's cyclohexane, and then again, you could do 1-one, or you could omit the 1, because someone would look at that name and go, oh, the ring is going to start, the ketone will be at the first position since it's the highest priority group. Or you can write this a little bit more verbose, explicit name. So it doesn't matter if someone throws in, a double bond or anything like that. You just have to find out who's the king of the hill or who's queen of the land as far as dictating the suffix of the name, right, the end of the name, numbering how many of those there are, and then naming, alphabetizing, and going from there. Okay, gang, so thanks for tuning in. You're now masters of the naming trade, and I'll see you in the next video.